Okay, then. So, I guess we're doing this now. So, Riot has been ramping up for the release of Arcane, obviously, right? And one of the things they've been doing is they've been slowly teasing bits from the soundtrack to Arcane. And today, just like the night before, basically, well, at least from my perspective, I know it's a little bit longer, like, whatever, I sleep at weird times. Just before, they're finally going to launch the first season of episode 2. First episode of season 2 is what I meant to say, with a watch party, which is going to happen over on my Twitch. I'm going to try and remember to put a link in the description to that, where they're doing a watch along where everyone can come and everyone can watch along and we can all do our reactions at the same time to Arcane episode 1. Now they're also releasing a music video for one of the songs. This is an artist called Isha Chen, who I believe did a Chinese exclusive song for Arcane Season 1. And now he's getting a music video for Arcane Season 2 with a song that seems that this bit contains some previously either unseen footage from Season 2 or some custom footage for this specific music video. The trouble with this, of course, is that playing music videos all the way through as a reaction thing on YouTube is, it's fraught. Like, music is one of the things that's very, very difficult to get away with reacting to. So I'm going to try now to play it through, and we'll do a reaction, and then after that, I will shut the music up, and then I'll go over the actual sort of animation footage that's in the thing, and then we'll talk about that. So if there's an awkward cut in just a second where I just cut off and then you cut right to talking about just the animation stuff, that'll be because YouTube said no, basically. So let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens. Okay, so that definitely to me looks like Season 2 footage. And specifically, so when we're dealing with, for example, a character like Jinx underwater, right? This seems to me like it's specifically echoing the baptism scene with Silco, right? Like that Silco has this baptism in the water of the river that for him is his moment of rebirth when he truly becomes Silco, right? His moment when he becomes Batman. And he tries to replicate that, to give that to Jinx as a way for her to start to feel like, as a way for her to put her past behind her so that she's no longer going to be haunted by all those ghosts that are after her all the time. It doesn't work for her, of course, because Jinx isn't Silco, much though he's sort of tried to make her into him in his way. Again, from the perspective that Silco very much loves her and wants to help her and like wants to give her the same peace and clarity and like strength of will that he has, even if he's not really a man who's actually capable of doing that for her. But it's the interesting part of their relationship, right? So if this is from Season 2, and I think this footage definitely is, because we do have the voice actress doing the scream and like this like sound design, this seems to be from Season 2. I would imagine this is either a dream, or else this is Jinx diving underwater somewhere. Either it's a reflection, because like Arcane likes parallels and cycles and repeats. Like they love to do things that repeat themselves in different forms over and over, but that mean different things in each repetition. And so either this would be Jinx trying to seek out some sort of baptism ritual for herself, maybe for Vi, actually. Like, I think a big part of Season 2 is going to be Vi having a really deep fall, as the camera fails to track a finger pointing downwards. And people, Caitlyn, perhaps Jinx, pulling her back up out of it, sort of building her back up to becoming the person that she needs to be. I could imagine Jinx trying to give Vi a baptism in the same way, and it not really working, and it not really, like, not being a thing that brings the sisters back together. Maybe that's why she's screaming. I could imagine that. I don't know that that's plausible, but I'm extemporaneously speculating about. And part of the reason why I say that is because look at Jinx's expression here, right? Look at this sort of resigned, sad, hurt. And I think there's even a little bit of wavering here between Jinx and Powder. Right, like remember, because Jinx and Powder, the way that they swap in and out of the control seat in the person is often something you can tell by like the construction of the face, and I think the eyes here do a little bit of that transition along with the lips and mouth, like from Jinx to Powder, and then definitely back to Jinx once the screaming starts. And that sort of indicates to me that this is a deep scream of frustration. It could also be a suicide attempt. Like, it could also be Jinx, like, fuck it, I'm gonna go into the water, I'm gonna sink down, I'm gonna drown forever, and I'm never coming back up. And then the anger comes back and says, no, fuck this, I'm burning the world. Like, it could be any number of things. I have nothing to base my speculation on here whatsoever. It's also interesting that she kind of seems to be sitting down here. Like, it kind of looks like she's sitting cross-legged, so, like, that makes this maybe sort of a meditation. And, of course, this could also just be dream imagery. This could be, like, a hallucination, a nightmare, a dream, something, who knows? Who knows what all of this is? She could have had concrete cast around her feet and thrown into the river to drown and die. Who knows? Or it could... Another thing could also be... It could also be scenes that are entirely cut from Season 2 and which were repurposed for some music video stuff. Because, like, that's not a thing that's unusual. But okay, music. Let's see if I have to cut now. Okay, so the lyrics definitely seem to be pointing thematically towards the ideas of Arcane, right? Child, don't be afraid to walk barefoot through the thorns. Like, this thing of, like, don't fear pain, you can overcome it. That feels very Jinxy. Referencing how beautiful the fireworks were, that could be a reference to the end of Season 1. Okay, so there's some nature imagery being deployed. Like, I don't know remotely enough about Chinese poetry or Chinese poetic tradition to be able to reasonably interpret Chinese song lyrics. I'm going by the translation. It seems to be invoking a bunch of nature imagery. This idea that nature pushes aside everything that is, like, constructed. That there is a fundamental nature to the world, maybe, or to a person that survives barriers, that blooms through. Flower imagery is being deployed here. Again, if I knew something about the history of Chinese poetry, maybe there's some allusions to, like, popular common tropes within that history. I don't know. Nice high note. Yeah, so a prayer here for some sort of restoration from a state of pain and suffering, which, again, very much feels like this is specifically a song written around Jinx, right? Which, like, obviously with that being the very first shot of the damn thing, and then also here's Powder after the explosion, quite literally looking up at a starry sky of her own making, as it were. A great bright moon shining down on her, and also Blood Moon from the end of Season 1. That seems to be what we're gesturing at here. Millions must blossom into solitary and splendid flower, right? One among millions still must blossom. So there's some loneliness of growing up here. a solitary and splendid flower, right? Also referencing back to the idea of like sort of Silco's view on Jinx, that she's perfect, right? Even though she herself feels fundamentally broken and poisonous and destroyed, and like a Jinx, right? Like she has all this roiling self-hatred coiled inside of her. But, you know, Silco insists very forcefully that she is perfect. That's definitely season 2. I think this might be 2, yeah. God, the facial animation on just the, like, you can see that there's emotional processing happening. You can see, like, even the iris sort of contracting with adrenaline as, like, her demons get louder. And then, like, this is definitely the confrontation with Vi, which we've seen, which I postulate is at the end of Act 1, right, of the second season, where Vi has joined up with the Enforcers, wearing that awkward uniform. This is the confrontation between her and Jinx. Something happens here that really sets Jinx off, right? And she goes, like, rage mode, right? Might be Vi bringing up Vander, Milo Clagger, saying, like, you betrayed their legacy. Like, something that will really set Jinx off in the direction of, like, Vi abandoned me, right? Because, like, this is animalistic almost, but also very Powder. Like, this, to me, this particular freakout feels very... shit, I want to... I really want to compare... When we get the full scene of this, I want to compare the body language of Jinx freaking out here to the body language of Powder freaking out right before she goes with the Hextech bomb to try and save Vander. And then we do the fucking anime shit, right? Like, this is the speed you get from Shimmer, right? They have so much... The fucking expression on her face, even through the motion blur, too. Vi doesn't seem very happy about what she's doing there. That's not really a I'm gonna kick my worst enemy's ass kind of face. That's more of a oh god, oh god, oh god, I hope I hope I don't kill her kind of face. And I do like that you can interpret Jinx's pose here as either getting ready to throw a punch and claw at her sister's eyes, or a hug. Okay, so obviously, this just came to mind. Obviously, this is a real person, right? This is a real person, not a fictional character. So, like, stay with me when I say this. I like this guy's character design. Real people don't have character designs. They have fashion choices, they have material circumstances. But in performance, right, like when someone playing a character in a movie or indeed a music video, you can apply character design to certain aspects of who they are. Like casting, for example, in a movie. It's an act of character design, choosing a person who has a look that fits the part, right? There's something interesting about this guy's character, because, like, what we have here is, like, a sort of power pop ballad, right? Like, it's a little bit Celine Dion in there, in some ways, I feel. And it's interesting that the way this guy's dressed is kind of... I mean, sort of looking down over myself right now. He's basically dressed like me right now. Like, my clothes tend to be a little bit darker, but, like, sort of these drab greens and, like, a hoodie and a t-shirt, and, like, the hair sort of all kind of mussed up as though he's just kind of rolled out of bed. Let me see. Yeah, and, like, just, like, jeans or cargo pants or something along those lines. I think he even's got, like, pockets on the... So he looks like kind of like just a regular Joe, right? Like a regular Joe fella. I don't know this artist. I don't know anything about him, like whether that's part of his personal branding or whether this is something that's specifically put on for the music video. There is an interesting thing there about, like, having this big emotional power ballad thing about like pushing aside the mountains and like running to the end of time with like swelling violins and like this huge drum soundtrack that just reverberates the whole fucking thing. And then the guy singing it is just like, looks like someone who'd like be manning a corner store, right? Like just a dude. There's an interesting sort of, I wouldn't say dissonance. It's not really a dissonance, but there's a contrast there that I'm kind of curious about. Which, like, I can interpret a million things into that. Again, it's like, I don't really know the context enough to have a strong take here. Just that I quite like that. I like the sort of, that he isn't dressed as that which we in good old-fashioned Danish called a smørtenor, like a butter tenor. Like, he's not dressed as Michael Bublé. He's not dressed as like a man who's trying to make your mom develop a crush on him, right? He's not really dressed as that. He's dressed as just a regular guy who, like, belts out these, like, emotional, big, high notes. And he's acting it out pretty well as well, I think. Like, you see through this section, the way he's handling his body language. Like, slumped over shoulders. Looking off into the middle distance, like, wrinkles on his forehead as his eyebrows are going up. Like, he's playing the emotion really well. Right. This one comes out almost like a wound, right? Like, you can see he kind of braces himself against this. Like, he's really acting out, like, the emotionality of what he's singing very well. He's and I do like in this section also that he never looks at the camera, right? He's looking off somewhere else, which again, in terms of acting, is like, this is a person going through an emotional process, right? And then eventually, and this is something that's quite nice with the direction as well, he finally finds the camera and looks at it, and then the color comes back. You see that? The color comes back, and then there's just this long period of him sort of calming down, keeping eye contact with us, kind of seeming visibly even, like, I don't know if this is a camera trick or whatever, like, visibly he even seems to grow younger. As though he's sort of falling backwards in time himself, right? Which is an interesting visual effect. Which again, like, relating back to the themes of Arcane, if I am right and Season 2 is in some part because Echoes, they are going to be about time travel, about wanting to turn back time, about wanting to undo that which has been done, or find some other way to prevent the worst from happening, right? Then that makes sense as a thematic beat, right? To have this regretful, sort of down on his luck old man return to a younger, more youthful, perhaps hopeful state. Repeating the chorus, but now rather than singing the chorus as this, like, desperate, like, flailing his head away from the camera, looking off into the middle distance, trapped in his own delusion. Now it's like a very direct appeal, right into the camera, right to you, right? Rather than a cry of regret, this feels more like a prayer for something better. Like, it's like, as a piece of direction for a music video, that's quite effective, right? Because he's repeating a bunch of, like, the hot, like, strongly acted emotional affect that he was doing in the first version of the chorus, but now it's more passionate, right? Like, rather than, like, flinching against pain, it's more of a passionate reaching out, a plea, right? An encouragement. And now we come to the bits that seem to have, like, entirely new footage that we've never seen before. Okay, Shattered Mirror. We have the teeth motif here, which to me, that looks kind of like Warwick's mouth would be the thing that they're referencing there. And then, who's this kid? Who are you, kiddo? You're wearing, Why does your character design look a lot like Teemo? Why with the hat and with the goggles on the hat and the... Like, why do you look a little bit like Teemo there, buddy? What's, are you a yodel in this guy? No, he's not. Absolutely no fucking way Teemo shows up. But if he does, I want credit for calling it. See, Wanted poster with Jinx. There's Jinx walking. People fleeing, running, chaos is happening everywhere. I don't know that this is footage from Act 2, or Season 2. This would be Vander's old school folks, and then here we have some of the Silco era new school folks. So, Trouble and Division and Zaun, I guess? Oh. Oh! Oh, that's what it is. That's what the fucking opening is from. It's Jinx laying Silco to rest. She's giving him a funeral. That's why the pain and the regret on her face and the scream. It's because she's laying Silco to rest in the river. In an exact mirror of the shot where he did that to her. So we are repeating the baptism scene, but here it's also a funeral. Bit of an implication here also that Jinx has decided to just let Zaun burn. I'm sorry, we're not listening to the music here. I absolutely do not want this bit to get copyright claimed. The rest of it I'm fine with, but this bit, why do you look so much like Teemo? That's freaking me out. The only thing he doesn't have is a little tuft on top of his hat. That's like, seriously. Look less like Teemo, you little shit. And then we have this bit. I saw people posting clips of this before I had a chance to watch the music video, but... Because I think that kid is not Powder. That's the kid we saw in a bit in one of the trailers. A kid who's been carried over their shoulder, like running away, I think, from the bridge to Piltover in much the same manner that Powder herself was once upon a time taken away. And so what we have here is, like, this seems to be Jinx taking that younger reflection of herself by the hand. It's like, it's not Powder, but it is Powder, in the sense that this is sort of a thematically Jinx having a chance to sort of save herself. To save herself from, like, someone in whom she sees herself, and to save them from pain. Save them from going through what she's going through. Showing them a brighter world, perhaps. Hope. And so that's this girl. So this girl, Jinx is gonna save her. She even has the fucking chipped teeth as well. So it's this girl. She's just with blue hair. So Jinx is gonna save her. Take her under her wing maybe a little bit. Get a little sister of her own. Because we're specifically cross-cutting from this girl falling. And she's gonna fall right on Jinx. Oh my god. Literally fall into her lap. Oh. We're cross-cutting from that to this. Being like, oh yeah, we're so this is Kuleshov effect 101, right? Like, we're associating these two shots with one another. Yeah, oh, this is gonna make me cry real bad. Oh no, oh no. I'm already getting a little emotional about that. Jinx getting a chance to heal her own child like that? Oh, oh goodness gracious. Look at the fucking expression on her face too, right? You can see this is a scene of her trying to comfort this kid, and then... being relied on for emotional support like that? Like, it's almost subconscious that she sort of holds on to her and then begins to realize... oh, this is her Silco moment too, isn't it? We will show them all. Like, I think that, oh, if I had to guess, this would be the moment when Jinx gets to have, is there anything so undoing as a daughter? Like, this is the moment when she's forced to understand Silco like that. Like, oh, wait, no, fuck, this child needs me. I am now determined I will burn the entire world to ashes rather than ever let this child get hurt again, right? Like, this looks to me like she's going through that. Like, you can see the flicker in the eye. That's usually a little animation touch that indicates the switch from Powder to Jinx, right? So that this is more of Powder who's taking care of this kid here. And you can kind of see that in the face construction. And then this is Jinx coming out and like, if anything happens to this child, I will kill everyone in Zaun and then myself. Like, that would be my interpretation of what's happening here. And then Powder, actual Powder, real Powder. This to me kind of looks like Powder holding... is that a shot from Season 1? If it is, I don't remember it off the top of my head. Oh, hey, even more age regression. I was right about that. Just quietly forget I'm fine the way I am. So this very much seems to be about Jinx healing her own inner child. Like, having a chance to help someone in the way that she desperately needed someone to help her, right? In a way that Silco couldn't really help her, right? Which is the thing, like, that's the tragedy of Silco, is that he wanted so badly to do right by her, but he didn't. He's a toxic piece of shit in some ways, right? Not ontologically evil, but a man who himself was so damaged that he really couldn't quite be there for Jinx, and especially for Powder. Like, he really couldn't be there for Powder. He wanted Powder gone, right? He replaced Powder with Jinx. Well, that's what he was trying to do. So this is a chance for, like, Jinx and Powder to sort of, like, to heal that divide between them. I don't remember this shot from Season 1, which bothers me because... Oh, wait, no, yeah, yes, I do. Yes, I do. This is the aftermath of... Well, no, it can't be, because it's not raining. I thought for a second that this was the immediate aftermath of the explosion. Isn't it? Hang on, shit. Now I'm fucking annoyed. Now we need to go from here. Where is my... Oh, yeah, because it wasn't raining immediately after Vander. Right, Vander dies. It's this, right? It's right after Powder has tried to save Vander, right? Like, it was the rain that was fucking me up, because I remembered this scene as raining. Right? And Vi realizes what Powder has done, and Powder doesn't understand yet what has happened or how she's responsible. Oh, yeah, it is that. For a second, I was like thinking, did they alter this? And they did. They did alter it. They pushed in a little bit closer on the camera angle. So I think they must have re-rendered this for the music video, because it's a different camera angle. Powder is centered, but it is the same animation. Okay. That was the thing I was wondering, is whether they literally changed her reaction upon seeing what her bomb did. But no, it's just, okay. All right. Okay. For a moment, I was about to get, like, real fucking conspiracy theory brain for a moment of, like, oh, they're gonna go back in time and they're gonna change how that... But no, like, just... The communication here seems to be that in this moment, right, what Powder wanted more than anything else in the world, rather than Vi to yell at her and slap her in the face, which, again, Vi was also a child. She should never have been made responsible for trying to take care of her sister in that moment, or at all, for that matter. But what she wanted in that moment more than anything was for Vi to do this, right? Because that's what she gets from Silco, right? Like, Silco is the one who sits down and, like, isn't trying to embrace her. He's waiting to stab her in the back, actually, with a knife. But he's the one, like, because this hug right here very much mirrors the hug that Silco gives Powder after Vander dies. Okay, then. This is adding more fuel to the fire of my crackpot theory that this season is going to involve a lot of time travel. I know it's not. I know there's no way. I understand. I get it. It's not going to be time travel. It's not going to be going back in time. It's not going to be alternate timelines. I know. But also, it's a little bit sort of regressing back in time, healing the wounds of the past, kind of. Like, even if time travel isn't going to be happening literally, there's definitely a theme in this fucking music video about finding a way back in time to, like, heal the wounds of the past. By the way, I don't know anything about this artist. Is this what he normally, like, is that how he normally looks in real life? Because I would imagine, given he's a pop star or whatever, that young version here, this young adult version, would be him actually as he really looks for real. And then some child actor sort of standing in for his youngest version, or maybe some, I don't know, machine learning generated thing based on pictures of him when he was a kid. Who knows? I don't know. I would imagine this is, like, closer to how he looks in real life. Interesting. So we're definitely doing some fucking healing the inner child here. Jinx reckoning with the death of Silco, maybe coming to some kind of peace about it. Time travel! Time travel! Also, the interesting thing of this little segment here being presented as though being seen through an old-timey projector screen. Complete with, like, film wobble. Yeah, not beating the fucking time travel allegations here. Oh no, this is making me even more insane. Oh dear. Good music video though. Lovely little song. Not really my usual style, but also YouTube compression for music, fucking awful. I cannot stand it. I need to find, once the soundtrack comes out, I want to hear like an uncompressed or less compressed version of it. That's not like fucking crushed to death to sound good on mobile phones and shitty AirPods. Because like the arrangement of this song with like the big drums and like the high notes and like the violins and all that leaves a lot more space to breathe than like 128 kilobytes per second YouTube bullshit. So, okay. Anyway, we're gonna find out soon, right? Like episode 1 of season 2 drops tomorrow, and then the other episodes. And obviously, I will be doing my reaction stuff here as well. Somehow, I don't know exactly how I'm gonna do it. I literally am not allowed to record a VOD of my reaction to the premiere of the first episode of season 2. So I need to find some way around that. I'm playing with a fidget toy in my hand. That's the weird motion that my character's doing right now. I need to find some way around that. Which probably means taking the audio of the reaction stream and then just uploading that kind of naked, or maybe I can do a recording of my avatar at least. Yeah, I can't put any of the footage, the VOD of the stream on screen at all, but I can at least have OBS recording my avatar and my motions, as it were. And then we can use that as the video component, and I can do I'll just sit here, be silent, and like it'll be a 3, 2, 1 start the episode sort of thing where you can just watch along, and it'll be uninterrupted. I won't be able to pause. I won't be able to pause the show at all when we're watching the premiere. Yeah, I guess I'll just do that. I'll find a way. I'll fucking find a way, and then the rest of the reaction to Arcane Season 2 will be more the usual style for this channel, I guess. I'll figure it out. Anyway, good music video, this. Now to see how many copyright claims I'm gonna get for it. Bye!